after that, the journey of Slick Films, did you take on more films then? What was kind of like for your company and as a director, what did that mean for like the aftermath of winning an Oscar?
Yeah. Did you need more employees?
It was kind of like getting handed the keys to a Ferrari after just passing your driving test. You know.
This is the Cinematography for Actors podcast.
More than a podcast, Cinematography for Actors is a vibrant community devoted to bridging the gap between talent and crew. Each week, our show offers transparent, insightful conversations with industry leaders. We unveil the magic behind the scenes, from candid discussions about unique filmmaking processes to in-depth technical exploration. Join us in unraveling the intricacies of filmmaking, one episode at a time. It's more than just cameras and lenses. We aim to inspire, educate, and empower as we peel back the curtain on the art of effective storytelling. Now on to the episode.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cinematography for Actors podcast. We are bridging the gap between talent and crew. Sitting with me here today is our lovely, fun-filled room of co-hosts.
Here today.
We have Brianna Wing, actor and partner at CFA. We have Jack Gibson, our outreach director and wonderful co-host who helps me with all the technical. And we have Haley Royal, one of our co-founders, as co-host as well. And with us today in the late hours of the London nights is Chris Overton, famed director and founder, correct, of Slick Films production company.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome.
Pleasure to have you.
I am so happy we can finally connect because I know with Holly Shorts, you had 3 films there produced under Slick Films. Congratulations for that. And I'm sorry we couldn't connect during, but I'm so happy we get a full episode to connect now.
Yeah,
so
not
welcome.
just a 15-minute episode.
Yeah.
We get the full thing.
I mean, 3 films at 15 minutes each, here we go. Full episode.
Right. Oh, well, I'm very pleased to be here. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's just, as I said earlier, the brand and the website, it's really on point. So I'm very pleased to be here.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Now, Chris, I would love to talk about Slick Films, and let's kind of get started with what Slick Films is, who's in the team, how you built it out as a director and producer, and how you got started.
Yeah, I kind of fell into it, I kind of think, by accident. It was, I was an actor from a young age, and then I picked up a camera when I was like 13 years old, fell in love with that. It was kind of editing really that I fell in love with, but then I just started filmmaking, and I didn't really know what part of filmmaking that I enjoyed. I liked, I did a bit of everything. But I made films really at a young age so I could be in them as an actor. That was really what that was about. And then I think I was 19. Yeah, I was about 19 when I registered the domain for Slick, and we started to create show reels for actors. That's how we began, really. So we had years and years of making mistakes on showreel sets, and it was just two people and 2 actors, 2 crew, 2 actors. So everyone says, "Oh, Silent Child was your first film," and yes, it was. But I'd done a lot of, I've been able to have this environment that I created to make loads and loads of mistakes, where I learned sound, editing, first ADing, cinematography, producing, a range of a whole spectrum of the filmmaking industry, really.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I brought on people to kind of help as the company was growing, and one thing led to another, and then I met Rachel Shenton whilst I was being an actor, and then 5 years later we kind of met again out in Los Angeles when I was trying to be an actor doing pilot season, and that went horribly wrong. But the best thing about that trip, yeah, it was awful. Oh, I've got some stories for you. And then Rachel and me kind of connected over there, and she had this idea for a script, and she told me about it, and I was just like, oh my God, you've got to write it. So she did, and it was The Silent Child, and that, the rest was kind of history, really. And since then we've just been making more short films, trying to learn our craft, earn our stripes, and help other filmmakers make their films too at the same time. So yeah,
Let's clarify for those that don't know. The Silent Child won an Oscar, correct?
it did. Yeah, a few years ago now. Yes, very
Wow.
proud of that.
And I can imagine.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Should be.
Now, what and for the Silent Child, what was that process like? We talked to a lot of people at Holly Shorts, and we continue to talk to directors and producers about the FYC track and what happens. What was the process in which that film was, at Oscar qualifying festivals? Where did it win? How did you get it kind of on the track to go to the Oscars and eventually win?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long I could give the long answer, but I'll try and make it as condensed as I can, because it was a long journey, but it kind of wasn't. But we really didn't know what we're doing, if I'm being completely honest. It was like, we made this film with so much heart, and we had this incredible team, and I'll be forever indebted to everybody who worked on that. And we made this, and we didn't really know kind of what we'd done, really. It was a lot of people's first film, but like I said, it was made with a lot of heart, and it had this very important message. And we got it into Rhode Island Film Festival. That was like the key thing. But we were literally just finishing the film off. I think like the day we had to post it to Rhode Island, we were made like a final change. Anyway, we went to that festival. We won the grand jury prize, and Maisie Sly, the young actor in the film, she won Best Actress as well.
Oh.
So it was really great. And I don't know, we didn't really think anything more of it after that, to be honest. It was like people kept coming up to us and saying, well, it's August now. The Oscars applications close very soon. You better get your application in. And we were like,
I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we just didn't realize what they meant, if we're honest. We knew that we could submit, but we just didn't know how, really. We thought, I don't know, people thought it was obvious with what to do, but we didn't know that. So we got an email from the festival director at Rhode Island saying, guys, you don't have long, please submit. And we were like, oh, okay. We were just a bit clueless. So we got it together, and we submitted, and then again carried on with our festival journey. And it's tough out there, the festival journey. There was still a lot of rejections for The Silent Child. People go, really? But it won an Oscar. I'm like, yeah, you want to see the rejection list? Anyway, so I think, I can't remember the date, but it was December of that year. So only a few months later, and then we got an email. And then the producer, Rebecca Harris, who's head of film at Slick Films, she messaged us and said, guys, the Academy. And we didn't know what she meant. And then found out that we were down to the final 10 for the Oscars. And when I say we honestly never expected that, we really never expected that. And then, they announced the nominations live, and that was like a month later. And our inbox went crazy after that point. It was unbelievable. Overnight, distributors, press, sales agents, people wanting to interview us. It was crazy. And then, you watch the nominations live, and they tell you to record it. And you don't want to record it, because I thought, God, we couldn't think of anything worse if we didn't get nominated. I really don't want to
have that video. Yeah.
Yeah. And the camera was like right on this bookshelf pointing at us over there, like, and just out the way. And anyway, we were nominated. And I think the most special thing about that was we just thought, wow, we can take this little girl to the Oscars. What an amazing thing. And then, we went there, and there was a lot of press around it. There's this whole event leading up towards it, and then we won. And then I was locking eyes with Meryl Streep on stage, and I just always remember that as Rachel was doing her speech, and leading up to it, it was drummed into us like, you have 45 seconds. That's it, and we will kick you off the stage. And you're like, okay. And then anyway, Rachel did her speech, and then I was just about to start mine, and then it just there's this big screen in the middle of the auditorium, and it says, "Time's up. Get off the stage." And I have to speak and do, like, I had the boring job of doing all the thank yous. So I just had to rattle through it, and then the music started to come up, and then the next step would have been for the mics and the lights to be turned off. But I literally got it in, and
Oh yeah.
There isn't a
got it
timer
off the
that
stage.
clicks down so you can manage.
I think there is on the screen, but you're just lost. You're just lost.
You're lost on the Oscar stage. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, can't you follow directions? Wasn't the countdown? And he's like, I just the Oscars winning. Like, I don't know. But that's wonderful.
Nobody ever really knows what it's like in that moment.
Totally.
Right, no?
Totally.
It's just a screen that says "Get off the stage."
Exactly. That's wild.
You're just in
It
shock.
was, yeah, a little bit, and I don't know what do you do. I wasn't
Yeah.
just going to walk off.
Yeah, you have to thank
Um,
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Did it through the music, and you know what? I bet those people
That was
are like,
beautiful.
he really pushed his luck on that one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so wonderful. Now, after that, the journey of Slick Films, did you take on more films then? What was kind of like for your company and as a director, what did that mean for like the aftermath of winning an Oscar?
Yeah. Did you need more employees?
It was kind of like getting handed the keys to a Ferrari after just passing your driving test.
Oh.
It really was like we were like rabbits in headlights. We just it was very overwhelming, very exciting. Lots of doors opened. Some really nice opportunities that we took, but we just felt like we had to learn our craft a little bit more. It was our first film, and I'm so glad we did that, because there was opportunities to do a feature, but it wouldn't have been the right feature. I got signed with an agent in America very quickly, and they were sending me scripts, and I was reading the first page going like, I can't connect to this. I can't tell this story, So we were a little bit lost. We just didn't know which direction to go down, really. And then I think people started to come to us and say, "Oh, can you help me with my short film?" And so whilst we were working on our own, Rachel was writing, and I was, looking at how to build the company. And yeah, it kind of happened that we just started to take on more shorts, and now we've got a slate all in different stages of like 35 short films.
Wow.
So like 8 are like out there finished, some are being distributed, like lots are on the festival circuit at the moment, some are in post-production, a couple are about to just have their world premiere. So, and then we've got a large slate in development. So shorts are a big part of what we do, but we really want to step up now, and we are working very hard towards our debut feature, which, all being well, we might be on set this time next year, maybe.
Oh, hell yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
Slick Films also has some other like cool facets to it, right? I mean, you're not just a production company, not that that's not something, but like you also have a program to help younger filmmakers kind of go out and feel confident, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I think that it comes from like me being, finding it very hard to break into the industry and kind of having to set up in a way my own film school. Like, before Slick Films was Slick Showreels, and that kind of is now still going and thriving. But that is a brilliant ladder into the industry, and that's how I started. As I mentioned earlier, I did hundreds of showreels where I got this playground to learn and make loads of mistakes. But there's still a client. You still have to deliver good quality, but it's just not like a set full of 100 people. So yeah, we really champion having trainees come on, and then them being able to step up into short films and hopefully one day feature films. So we really want to be able to set a clear pathway from the bottom to the top of the industry. So that's why
Sorry, is that like a training program that these young filmmakers pay to be a part of? Is it like a nonprofit type of situation? How are they getting involved, and what kind of expectations should they have?
Yeah, so what it's quite casual, if I'm honest. Like this, that we don't monetize it or anything like that. We find people just find us and get in touch with us, and there's like an application form. So we always try to put one training trainee on our showreel shoot. So we've got this large database. So, every so often we'll try someone out. And if they're good, they tend to stick around. And then before you know it, there's people that we want to continue to work with, and they've already broken into the industry, and we're like, we can't get hold of them. We're like, I'm like, hey, do you want to come and do a day on my short film? And they're like, oh, sorry, man, I'm really busy on an Avengers movie. I'm like, okay, good. So it's really lovely how that happens, and that's a real success. But and it happens quite quickly, depending on the department. And when it's a short film, we had on my latest short film, In Too Deep, we had about 6 trainees, and they were just all brilliant. One of them's like full time in the BBC now. Another one, we just saw so much talent in, and he just was doing loads of BTS content for us, and really starting to think about his own short. So there could be more structure to it, but we feel like it's quite nice that it's quite casual as well. And I'm just very open. I think we're very open at Slick. If someone comes to me with passion, that's like the number one. Anyone can learn the skills. If someone comes to me with passion and like comes to me at a film festival and says, look, I want to do this, and if I can feel they're genuine, I'm like, right, come on, set them. I met someone at a film festival last week. I was talking to him before I even knew he won the student award, and he won. I had to present him this award, and then someone said, "Oh God, I really need a trainee on my shoot," and I was just emailed him. He emailed, and I just went, "Do you want to come on set tomorrow?" And he was like, "Yeah, all right." I was like, "Brilliant." And then he's gonna come on set more with us, and that's kind of how it is. It's quite loose, but like we're very spontaneous where that is concerned.
Amazing.
Okay.
Now you've worked in both Los Angeles and the UK, well, in the American market and the UK market. How would you say they differ? What are like the biggest things that hit you? I know in LA you've mostly worked as an actor previously. You were talking about pilot season and stuff. Have you also directed in the States, or is it mostly in the UK?
No, I haven't directed in the States, but I would love to. And me and Rachel have just got green cards actually. So
Congrats! Oh
because
my gosh, that's huge.
yes, I know, we're very
Fantastic.
excited. Yeah. So, that's something we'd really like to do. I'd love to do a few episodics of, I think you just make amazing TV and
Yeah.
amazing content over there. And America's just always been very, I don't know, it's just been very kind to me and Rachel. So, anyway, that's been something we've been working on for a while. And, um, how do they differ? I think, I haven't like worked as a director over there, but I have been over there trying to be an actor. So I'm trying to think. I don't think I have worked over there actually. I've tried to work over there, but it didn't work out.
What do you think community and network is like in the UK compared to what you've heard of LA? I know one of my best friends, Anna Goodbrands, who's an incredible DP in London. She says that sometimes people can be a little more like gatekeepy. They can it can be a little more closed off sometimes, but it seems like you are changing that by having the mentorship program and trainee. But do you think it is like that? Do you find it's hard to break into it, but once you get like that person or that moment that it becomes easy? What are the challenges or pros of working in the UK?
Yeah, that's a really good question about, is it a bit more locked over here? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be fair to say that. Yeah, I think it's maybe because it's smaller, like it's tougher to break in. There's fewer opportunities, perhaps. And like we have the biggest there's a few public funders, the Film 4 or Channel 4, BBC, and the BFI, and like everybody just is trying to get something from them, and it must be such a tough job. They can't help everyone, so I think it's more that if they could help everyone, they would. Whereas I don't know. I think I've heard America is very different. They don't have the public funds, as far as I'm aware, right?
No. As a Canadian working in America, I can say, because Canada has so many grants, so much funding, so many film councils and opportunities. And then when you come to the States, it's like almost expected of like make your way. So it's like there's a huge network, and I think people are very open to experience, and like on a person to person level, it's very open. But from like a funding level or applying for grants, unless it's tax credit, it's very, very restricted. So there isn't like that many opportunities, which is different. When I go back to Canada, I'm like, let's apply for these 6 grants, So yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it like over here, it's almost like a little bit hopeless. You apply for a grant and it's just like, oh, something I've got to do just in case. There's no hope, really. It doesn't feel like there's much hope. We've got 35 shorts, and I think one of them got some funding. So the ratio is very, very low. And
just because everyone's applying.
I think so. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe people are more open in the States, maybe.
Okay, we are stoked to shout out our audio sponsor, Deity Microphones. Their S-Mic 2 Pro shotgun mics have impeccable sound clarity, directionality, headphone monitoring, and a user-friendly design. And we're proud to launch our studio with them. Our goal is to bring you educational gems every episode, and with these mics, you can listen to the best quality audio possible wherever you are. To learn more about using Deity mics for your own podcasting, voiceover, or filming needs, go to deitymic.com.
And in terms of networking, I mean, I don't know. It depends on what festival you go to. I mean, there's a film festival called Bolton Film Festival, which I just absolutely adore. And
oh, cool.
It's incredible for networking. Like, if I'm honest, it's a bit embarrassing to admit, but I didn't really get networking until about a year ago, until I went to Bolton last year. I went again this year. And I just always used to go, oh, I'm not very good at networking. I don't network. I can't do that. I just, I'm not very good. And then I've always said this, like, since I've learned it last year, that I think networking should be crossed out and it should just be called socializing, because that's all it is.
Yeah.
I think I was like,
You know
okay, it was a bit
what?
of an
So
epiphany
do
for me.
I.
I was like, yeah, I just need to chat to other filmmakers about what I love, which is film.
Correct.
And when I did that, I didn't think, I need to get something out of this.
No.
I'm like, God, this is, and so many things have come from that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This
I
is
don't
just
know
making
really. I guess last time
Yeah.
I was in America, yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that Indy is super passionate about, and
This is true.
she's converted us all here at CFA that like networking is huge and it's the main thing and it's so important, and it doesn't have to be like this scary word of like, oh, it's business, so it's networking. We're just trying to find out what we can get from everybody else. These are your friends.
It's your film
and
family.
of course, you're gonna want to work with your friends. It just all is rolled up together.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's wonderful. I love that you said the Bolton Film Festival. I'm going to look it up because I'm a huge fan of Camerimage. I go every year. It's been like my 9th year. This will be my 9th year going to Poland for Camerimage Film Festival. And that's how I know my entire network, like literally everyone. It stemmed from that. Even when I moved to the States, I already had people I knew because I had gone to Poland for so many years and known them. So I love a good film festival rec. So I'm so happy you said that, because I'm sure our audience is going to love to check that out. Can you talk a little bit about Bolton and what it is and how you found it and what it's known for and the networking opportunities and things like that?
Yeah, sure. So we were there for its first year when we did The Silent Child, and I just couldn't. I've been to lots of other festivals, before this one around that time, and I just remember thinking, God, they've done well here. This feels like a festival that's been running for like forever. So professional. It's just 2 of them, Adrian and Zoe, and they're like proper salt of the earth, working class, like from a kind of photography background, and they just knew what they were doing, and they're just very real, and yeah, I don't know, like just see it grow year on year, and then they very quickly got like BAFTA accreditation, or but they were BAFTA accredited or whatever you
qualifying.
And then they were but it's got those little Film Freeway BAFTA BIFA logos on.
Yes.
And that happened very quick for them. And I don't know, like, they screen amazing films. It's programmed so well, and it's just a really relaxed environment. And there's great panel discussions on, and there's an online part to it as well. And I don't know, everything that they're doing is just like top notch. I think it's actually in the top 10 festivals in the world right now.
Fantastic. Cool.
On Film Freeway. Yeah, apparently.
Amazing. I'm going to have to create like a little film guide eventually for everyone's recommended festivals. So it's like peer-reviewed festivals from CFA, and yours will be on there for the Bolton Rec, because I just think it's so wonderful to allow people to understand what the opportunities are within our industry, and that you don't have to be located in New York or LA or London. You know, it can be a worldwide thing of like, what is your local resource, you know, and where can I meet people?
Well, and also to know like what each film festival has a different feel, you know, like in LA we use the term vibe a lot, and you can feel that, like you said, you're like, oh, this one's, they've done well here, and there are other ones that may not like vibe with certain people, certain films, certain types. So to have a resource like that says like, this film festival feels like this, and it'll be good for this type of thing, and this type of networking can be so helpful, because Film Freeway is so inundated. There's just like so much, and a lot of people, especially like first time filmmakers, have no idea which
your entire budget's going to Film Freeway. Normal, if you don't know.
Idea, Indiana.
Well, I think I think it's also really important that you mentioned that it's kind of has this laid back and comfortable vibe to it, and I think that that relates so directly to what we're calling networking, but I feel like truly the distinction is like capital N networking and then lowercase n networking. And capital N networking is the like thing that I truly hate. I think
the big scary.
Very few people I've ever heard love it, but it's, you know, the difference of, we were for Holly Shorts very recently, we're at, you know, a kind of a celebratory function, and there was this kind of cold call vibe where someone came up to me and just like introduced themselves purely as business, like a human business card. And I was just like, okay, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. Like you know, you've already cut me off from this conversation by introducing yourself in that way. And, you know, I mean, that kind of cold calling stuff has its own place, but that I've gotten so many more jobs, friends, communities from introducing myself as a person and talking, and then somewhere down the line in the conversation, you know, I say, oh, well, so what do you do? You know, and then you get into that. And that's totally the ethos that we have at CFA. And I think that's really important, because there are a lot of festivals that are capital N networking. And I know a lot of directors who dread going to certain film festivals because that's what the vibe is, that afterwards you're going to a party, it's not, you know, it's
not familiar.
Yeah, it's not familiar. It's being assaulted by agents and
writer.
Right, exactly. And so I think that's a really cool thing to know about the Bolton Film Festival, is like, just following that ethos in all corners of the business because it's there, and it's really cool to shine a light on the places where it is.
Can we talk about some of your films?
I couldn't agree more with that, by the way.
Yeah, let's get into it. The 3 films at Holly Shorts this year. Can we talk about them? Why we missed out on them during Holly Shorts? So let's talk about them. Yeah, we were too busy. We were too busy interviewing. We did 70 interviews. So I know
we tried to catch a lot of them on.
I mean, that's insane.
TV afterwards. So we caught a few, but we didn't. We only got to screen one in the theater.
Yeah.
Because it was these guys'
Well, I know how busy you were, because I scrolled through the Spotify today and I was like, oh, Holly Shorts. Oh my God. I was like, what the hell? Like, where's the first episode?
And doing it again.
Yeah.
But In Too Deep was opening night. Come on, guys.
I know.
Did you get to opening night?
No, we were busy.
Okay, well, I'll let you off.
It was like proper set days. Like, I came away as exhausted.
It was wild. Yeah. We're sorry to miss it. But please tell us about opening night. Tell us about In Too Deep. Tell us about the other 2 as well. Like, we want to hear about them, and we want to also get them out there to our audience. Yeah,
well, I wish I would have been there, and I was gutted to not have been there. I was very close to coming out, and I was supposed to do a panel, but anyway, it didn't work out. But yeah, so I don't know what it was like for opening nights, but when you find out you're an opening night, it's just like, it's a big deal. So I was very proud of that. And I think look, it's In Too Deep in particular, I'm very proud of the film. But it's also been timed very well, and we didn't mean to, we didn't plan for this AI strike, you know, the
Mhm.
writer's strike to happen. But In Too Deep is the story of a father that goes to extreme measures to bring back the memories of his dead daughter using AI technology. So it's a laugh a minute, that one, as you can tell by the look.
Yeah,
Um,
funny.
so yeah, it's like a drama thriller, but the AI side of it, I think, resonated and has resonated with like festivals in Canada and other festivals in America. It seems to be doing very well. And I think, I don't know, that is probably helped by the AI theme behind it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's In Too Deep. I directed that. Yeah, what else can I say about it? What else do you want to know about In Too Deep?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jack,
I was
go
gonna
for
say
it.
very curiously, if you could talk a little bit about the actual pipeline of like from when you guys first got a hold of that script, how did you get it? Was it a submission? And then kind of what's that pipeline look like for anyone who would be, you know, interested in trying to work with you, like
Through
start to
Slick
finish?
Films,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the writer was James Spillman, and he just sent this email that really caught my attention. He just said, "Look, like this is what it's about." I won't spoil it and say what type of AI technology is used, just in case. But he explained that. I mean, he was ahead of the curve. He really was, because he kind of almost predicted this. He was like, "Look, this is a very fast moving technology, and it's going to get worse and worse." And he was right. And it just so happened that, you know, we released a film around the time of the strikes. But that caught our attention. That was like January 20. I think that was January 2020. I read the script, so it was a long time ago. And then yeah, we spent a long time trying to, you know, raise the money and working on the treatment, getting it all together. And then COVID happened. So it was a real victim of COVID.
We have some exciting news. CFA has teamed up with We Make Movies to get you a discount on production management services, including access to comprehensive production insurance and workers' comp for your next shoot. Visit wemakemovies.org/insurance and use code CFA23 on your intake form for 10% off your quote.
That delayed the shoot really by a year. And, you know, first time working, there's a lot of, you know, not a lot, but there's a bit of VFX in the film as well. And that made for a very long post-production. So it took a long time. But also everything that could have gone wrong with In Too Deep went wrong. You know, it really was a tough one. I can't believe we're out the other side now.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, COVID happened, so we had to reschedule. Yeah, but like some people got away for filming during COVID and nicked it in and got in, got out very quick and did very well. I mean, we also filmed another film before this one. It was and that came after reading it anyway. But yeah, like, you know, actor availability. We rescheduled it 4 times, I think, because it was like the day before the big announcement. Like, you know, is your work priority, that kind of thing? Are you you've got to, and we were just very confused. And this is the day before we had the first day, and then we had to do the big shots at the end, which had like a big crane with just 6 people, and it should have been like a crew of 25. So we just had to, like, we were just, you know, really in a difficult position, speaking to the local council, and the police was just kind of saying like, no, you can only have this many people and you can't go inside. There's so many restrictions.
Once you got there, though,
and then like
shooting, no disasters or some disasters?
Well, we shot like one day, and then we had to wait 3 months, and then we shot another day, and then finally we had to wait 9 months for actor availability. But then when we did shoot, you just the same, you know, usual problems you get. Nothing major.
That's great.
And
thank God.
Yeah,
it happened. It worked out, and still
it got into one of the greatest short film festivals in the world.
Opening night. Wow.
Yeah.
What you can do with a
what Chris can do at Slick, everyone.
Slick Film.
It's you know, film is painful. It can be really painful. I haven't had an experience that has gone that smooth yet. But I think that's just filmmaking, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's
Um,
short filmmaking as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
it really is.
Big
It's
time.
like working on limited resources, having the passion, having the people involved that are so passionate, and making something that truly holds up. And one of the things I wanted to ask about that, talking about the AI and how you see a lot of festivals picking it up for, some of the genres and themes in addition to the actual film itself. What is for you, is there an importance of having a niche in a film, or like your directing style? Are you always picking something that is very much like a part of the niche or a part of the like current, or let's tackle this because I know it's becoming a big thing, or what's kind of like your methodology or mindset around choosing the next films that you're directing?
Yeah, I honestly, like, I just know whether I should be directing something or not. I get a little twinge in my heart. That
Oh,
sounds so corny, but it's true. And The Silent Child is the biggest example, because I wasn't a director before that. And then when I read the script, I was like, holy shit, I've got to
yeah,
tell this story,
yeah.
and I think that's when I became a director. I was a filmmaker, but I wasn't a director before that. And then, yeah, I just kind of am very compelled, and I'm exceptionally lucky to have, Rachel and Rebecca, to have this team that are just so on the same page. Whatever Rachel writes, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so lucky, really, you know. So yeah, we're very much like we're very much on the same page. It just so happens that what she writes is like all the stories that if I was as good a writer as she was, that's the kind of things I'd be writing for sure.
Oh,
So yeah, that's kind of it. Just it's a feeling, it's a gut feeling, and if Rachel did write something that I thought it's not really for me, then I would say I don't think I could. I could only tell stories that I really truly believe in, and they are usually things that have a message. Um, not everything has to have a message, and we're very conscious of that at Slick. Like most of the things that we do, I'd say 90% of the work that we do does hold like an important message or something that could help to impact society. But also we like to throw in like a love story or something that's just purely entertainment. Or I mean, we had this showcase recently where we got about 200 people to come to see the Slick Film Showcase in London, and there were 7 films we screened, and at the end I was like, oh my God, we need comedy, which is just so
that's
just like,
amazing.
yeah. I was like, wow, okay, yeah. But seeing them all together, I was like, okay, yeah, we need some comedy.
Yeah.
It's time.
It is rare, honestly. Like as a DP who started by doing a lot of shorts, it is very rare to find directors who want to do comedy. It's like it's a lot of drama. It's a lot of like personal stories. It's a lot of like horror. It's a lot of like trying to have as much like movement and emotion and effect on screen as possible for a lot of first-time directors. And so it's funny that you say comedy, because I always look at my show reel, or like when I'm like re-editing it at the beginning of the year, and I'm like, I need to do comedy. Like it's just like something that I actually don't have a lot of experience in, for the reason that the directors I work with are mostly drama. And it's a funny theme. Which is, what are like, I want to know from an actor perspective, you were talking about coming up as an actor and then at 13 getting your hands on a camera and things like that. And obviously you've come to LA for pilot season and stuff. As a director now, and you need to feel connected to your script, as you said, how is your directing style affected based off of your experience as an actor, do you think?
Oh God, I mean, it's literally been the best training to be a director, because I mean, I hear it and I've seen it a little bit as well, that directors are quite scared of actors. Not but just scared to give them a note or just interact with them. And I'm not at all. Like, I think anyone that's been an actor then a director is just brilliant. Those to learn those skills and to have empathy for what actors go through is, yeah, that's just the best thing for me anyway. I'm so grateful that I've had that experience, and not just gone to a few classes. I was an actor from like the
Yeah.
age of 8 to, like, I don't know, I don't really call myself an actor anymore unless a director friend says, oh, can you come and do this one line? I'll be like, yeah, sure. But I've been an actor for a very long time. I was an actor first.
Got it. That's really, really beautiful and interesting to me. And I know from I know Bree and I just started doing a documentary together as co-producers, and she's directing, I'm DPing. And Bree and Haley here are the actors. We have Jack, who's a writer. I'm a DP. And I know for you in asking questions during the documentary, being an actor was a huge part of that as well.
Yeah, there were some aspects of directing that I'm like, gosh, I don't necessarily know how to proceed, or I don't have experience, but what I do feel connected to is this human being sitting in front of me, and I felt so much empathy for them. So my wheels are turning, wondering what it was like for you in those early transition periods when you directed your first film, because we have a lot of people that maybe have pivoted careers or are multi-hyphenate. What was going through your mind when you wanted to direct your first film, but you hadn't yet? What were some of the obstacles, tangible ones or mentally, you had to overcome in order to take that first step? Because sometimes people are scared to make that pivot.
I mean, it is scary. I mean, I remember the week before shooting, I couldn't sleep. Like, I had genuine, that's the first time in my life that I've had like anxiety. Like I woke up in the middle of the night, thought, oh my God, I'm gonna have like a heart attack or something. And I read this book it was called I think it was called My First Movies, or
Oh,
My
cool.
First Movie. There's loads of feature directors that tell their story about their first movie. And that completely calmed me down. I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone. All the things that I'm feeling is all these massive directors have felt this. So that honestly changed it a little bit for me, because I'm very much a person, like a lot of us, who just likes to get on with it, doesn't ask for help. What is really good is if you can have a mentor. If I would have had a mentor, someone to just like, who was just one step ahead of me, who made a short, who could have said, and I had a few friends around me, but I mean like a proper mentor who like I spoke with, like, I don't know, a few times a week, that would have really calmed me down. So just that lack of experience was the most challenging thing, the fear of the unknown. However, I think ignorance is bliss as well. I honestly think that's part of the success of the film, because you don't know what can go wrong. You don't. I think sometimes the more you know, the harder it is, because I can't really articulate why that is, but I think there is a beauty in not knowing everything as well. So that had its pros and its cons. Yeah.
Definitely. The it's funny you say that, because I remember like at AFI we had a class that was all about this book that talked about like film code and how you design shots. And as a DP, you have an eye and you have an idea of what you like to shoot and how you might shoot different stories. But this book broke down like, depth of the frame. So like flat space versus deep space, your golden ratios. It broke down kind of lines and where they're directing the actors. And it's a lot of information if you're like, just to memorize that and go for it. Because then as a DP, if you're starting out, you're going, oh, for every shot, do I have to have a column on my shot list that says, is this flat or deep space? Is this vertical lines or horizontal lines? Are these converging? Like it's those questions around how you're doing it. And so when you have so much information, it can overwhelm you. But what I think is key to this is like, you can learn these things, but then you can pick the one or two things that resonate with you that are most important, almost like what draws you to the scripts that you read, and use that as like your methodology or your dogmatic approach to filmmaking, which is cool. But it's not about taking all the information and holding it there. It's about like letting go of some of it and being like, no, this makes sense to me, this amount, this capsule. So that's great. Yeah, I get it with the information. That class was very overwhelming. Yeah,
absolutely. And yes, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I think I heard the best thing I ever heard was someone said that you don't even need to try to find your style. It's just in you. I was like, oh my God, yeah. And it is, because like you start out as a director not knowing what you like, but you definitely know what you don't like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you looked at 100 images, you'd be like, yep, no. And then you've got this collection of images, which is essentially what you like. And then over time, that forms your voice. Your voice is a collection of things you like and I guess don't like. or the things you don't like have just been pushed aside.
I had a fortune in my fortune cookie that said discontent is the first step of progress for man or nation. And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I love this random wisdom and the way you pronounce
Yeah,
fortune
wait.
so boldly. But that's amazing. I love that.
Sorry.
Keep
would
hold
you
of
mind-
that fortune cookie.
Yeah.
I got it probably 8 to 10 years ago, and I've kept it in a little ceramic jar.
You're saying like last
Can
week.
you say what it said again? Because I was so focused on
I was incredibly
just
distracted when you said fortune.
wrapping Jack's arm so hard because you said fortune.
Fortune.
So
Fortune.
loud
Fortune.
twice.
We're from East Coast world.
That's
so,
is that an East Coast?
maybe?
rep?
It's like
Don't judge us for it.
I've
all-
never heard
yeah.
anyone say
Yeah.
it that way.
It, the,
We really attack people for mispronouncing.
We do.
I know,
I'm so
it's
sorry.
really seeing the ugly side of us. But
Wait, what did it say?
the fortune says discontent is the first step of progress for man or nation.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I like that.
Right? Because
love that.
knowing what you don't like helps guide you towards specificity of what you like.
I think Chris wrote that.
Yeah. Do you do fortune cookies on the
Did you
side?
do a fortune cookie?
That was me.
I
There
love
we
it.
go. I've been found out.
Yeah, slick side.
Couldn't agree
business.
more with that, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Slick
Yeah.
Film doesn't
So-
just do development, branded short stories, production, post-production, EPK. They also do fortune cookie.
Yeah.
So I just
Yes.
find it does speak to whether you're pivoting or expanding your career capabilities or becoming a multi-hyphenate, not feeling right or not liking something doesn't have to be scary or bad, because it might just help course correct you or give you more of
Yeah.
a vision to something that does feel right and aligned creatively for a story, for whatever it is you're working on. So don't be scared of things that are no's or don't feel right, because it's actually a really exciting opportunity to get specific on what is your next step.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's I'm unfortunately we have to wrap things up.
I feel like we'd really just found something. that
I know, I'm
was
like,
I know.
nugget of
Yeah.
the day. Yeah, it's gonna be my cold open for this episode.
I do two things before we end?
Yes,
Okay, all
absolutely.
right. I just wanted to relate this back really importantly to Slick Films, because you said something that is very true, which is that filmmaking can often be painful, but there exists a possibility in a world in which everyone experiences a large amount of pain alone, especially when you're coming up and you're new and you have no idea what's going on and how to break in. But then there are people who create opportunities, and they in their experience shoulder a burden that to a new person would be much more painful than to any degree of established community, group, business. And it's something that we strive to do. And the thing that I love the most about Slick Films, which is that it shoulders a burden and allows young people coming up into the industry, or even not young, but young in terms of work. It affords them an ability to traverse this space and not feel the full brunt of that pain and not get turned off, as a lot of people unfortunately do. Which I just want to honor.
Speaking from
Thank you,
experience.
Jack.
I am.
It's
And
probably
then
one of the nicest thing anyone's ever said. That's bloody lovely. Thank you.
I mean,
Aw.
you started this off camera before we started recording with such an
Chris.
unprompted, glorious review of us.
Yeah. And then I hope, because you've just gotten your green card, that we will see you very soon in LA, and you're always welcome here at the CFA studio. Thank you
I would
so
love to
much.
come and visit you guys.
Come
Yeah.
and visit
I
anytime.
hope you have to come back and accept another Oscar.
I know. We'll get you in physically to the studio.
I don't know if that'll ever happen again, guys. Who knows? That's a one in a lifetime. Who knows?
Don't
Let's see.
say things like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, don't put
Just think
that
about it as a possibility for a do-over and getting those names in right before the music starts.
Practicing and
45
preparing
seconds.
for 45 seconds so you don't get played off next.
And Bree will ask you if there's a
Brianna
countdown
will
clock and you'll
coach
know.
you.
But thank you so much, Chris, for coming on. Chris Overton, everyone, and we are very excited about everything going on at Slick, as well as the massive slate of films that you are bringing, hopefully to all of the festivals that we will be official podcast partners at in the future.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys. A real pleasure. Cheers.
Join us in bridging the gap between talent and crew. Start by subscribing on your preferred podcast platform, sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date on vendor discounts, community events, and new podcast releases, and educate yourself through our free course releases on YouTube. It all starts at cinematographyforactors.com. And if you like this episode, consider leaving a review to make it easier for other listeners to find us.